Hi, AJ. I like seeing you.
Hi, Zach.
Cheers.
Ooh, I need a drink.
I was switching over to YouTube, so I don't know if you said hi to me, Zach.
Saying hi to everybody.
I'm not offended, but hi. Hi, Zach. Hi,
Yeah.
hi, AJ. Hi, Mike.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, Marcos.
And now I feel forced to say hi directly to Trent. Hi, Trent. Nice seeing you.
Why wouldn't you want to say hi to Trent directly? Hi, Trent.
Hello, AJ.
Yeah, there you go.
How goes your life?
If you could smell me, man.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 264 of Camcast.
Woo!
Yeah, nice. Podcast that learns that it can mute a Zoom call every now and again when it needs to. Thank you for doing that, AJ. Appreciate it. No, AJ was coughing.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking like a dumbass. Sorry.
No, and we had a bit that you just didn't want to lean into.
How did you want me to lean into that bit? It was so difficult because like people talking to me and asking for Maserati keys and like.
Yeah,
like,
that one. Yeah, I don't think we anticipated other people being there.
Nor did I. But,
Yeah.
So I told everyone at the shop, hey, I'm going to be in the front office. Give me like an hour. If you need something, just come in and do it and leave. Don't talk to me. I'm doing my thing. And Ryan slams open the door. Hey, where's the Maserati keys at?
He's just trying to do his thing. He is the chairman of the boards himself, the good Colonel Eddie Dean, Zach Lords. Thank you. There you go.
Beer.
Yes, beer. And joining us from Sandy, Draper, Harriman, Northern
Sandy?
Utah County, it is the shadowy billionaire himself, Trent from Sandy, Trent Bray.
Ahoy, hoy. How do you get North Utah County?
I mean, you just keep going. You just keep going south, and eventually you run into the northern end of Utah County.
Well, I like going to North Salt Lake City. It's a fun area.
I did go to North Utah County to get a beard trim since South Salt Lake County does not allow that right now, but North Utah County does. So
Hey.
there we are.
Looks good. Looks very shapely.
Yep. Thank you.
It's very well defined and looks good.
It's a little shorter than I was hoping for, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do.
That's what happens when you go to God's country.
That's what she said.
That is indeed what she said. He can appreciate a good beard, and he's joining us because he played himself onto the JV squad. It's AJ
Yeah.
Nassfucker.
Second show. Second show.
show.
Oh, wait a minute.
Nope. Right, hold on. That's one too early. Anyway, thank you for joining us, folks. You could have been anywhere, but here you are listening to us. We appreciate that. We really do. Go ahead and follow us on all of the social medias. We're at Cam Automag on the lot of them. Pretty much just Facebook and Instagram for now, but once racing gets going,
Oh, I need to do Snapchat still. Shit, that's a lot of work.
it's all right. There's a reason we haven't done it. So
I mean, unless you're using the filters, Snapchat's kind of a waste of time.
You're a waste of time.
we're all a waste of time.
We're all here, so that's like says a lot about us.
Yeah, that it is. But yeah, once racing gets going, me and Chirp are going to get spicy on the Twitter. So go ahead and give us a follow there anyway. This podcast is available wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify. Like, rate, review, subscribe. Zach, I love that you're just looking like off in the distance. That lighting is just great.
I have a second monitor right here that has all of my shit on it.
It looks like you're looking out of a window. Because there's a fucking window right
There's
there.
a window
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. No,
He's
like
about to be the fourth kind.
the lighting is perfect. Like you're just looking off, like lost in thought. There you go. Even better. Support us on Patreon. Patreon.com/CamAutomag is where you go. Any dollar amount is appreciated, but $5 is the money number. It gets you into the super secret shenanigans shitposting Facebook group, gets you access to the podcast a day early, gets you the live stream of this podcast recording every Monday. And if you're lucky, like AJ, you get to come on the podcast. So,
Or just be
Patreon.
friends with me and I'll just randomly ask you to come on the podcast because apparently I don't know. my
yeah,
place.
you know, whatever. Anyway, patreon.com/CamAutomag. And while you're out there throwing some money around on the internet, throw some more our way by heading over to CamAutoswag.com. Me and Zach are wearing our hats.
Oh, my shirt's over there. I threw it away. We're not
It's
throw
all right.
Throw it out.
Yeah, it's all right. I got a grip of the new hot person summer stuff coming. I've got the flip flops. I
Yeah.
got the bag. I got a new hat. I got the shorts. So all that stuff is coming our way. Shout out to Matthew Bennett. He's going to have himself a hot boy summer because he got the backpack. You know,
He beat me to the flip flops, which pisses me off because I need some.
it's all right.
Yeah.
It's
I
all
need
right.
to get I need to get the shorts too for the gym. Like you said, that's
Gym
where
for-
it's at.
Gym for Trent, liquor store for me. So there are two types of people in this world. And they're both represented on this podcast. But CamAutoswag.com is where you go to get your official Cam Automag merchandise. Please have yourself a hot boy or girl or non-binary summer. Get yourself some sweet-ass Cam merch. And,
Nice save, Mike.
Thank you. And while you're out there, head over to steadybroke.com, our longtime sponsor. Yeah, me and Trent are representing. We are good hosts. We know what we're doing. It's like we've done this before. It's like
Once or twice.
It's like we have other podcasts that we do. Anyway, steady.broke. Yep. Let me run through this and I'll give you every opportunity to push that one.
Nah, it's all right.
Okay. Steadybroke.com. Head over there, put a bunch of their awesome merch in your cart, like Trent's hat, like the Broke AF shirt, and use coupon code CAMAUTO15 at checkout. Save 15% on your entire order. Just because you're broke doesn't mean you can't live your dreams. Steady broke. All right. Well, Trent punted on his opportunity to be caught up with. So, how's everybody else doing?
I punted? That was the other week.
All right. Well, how have you been, Trent?
I have been busy. We've been doing yard projects for seemingly forever. So I've been getting
fun.
my truck has been getting some use. So it's justified this month.
Nice.
I got to tow a vehicle from the top of Little Cottonwood Canyon this weekend.
Oh.
Sounds exciting.
A friend of mine got in a very bad accident.
Oh, the NA, right?
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
He's fine. He's safe. He's alive. Jared is doing very well. It's funny. So the story goes, we bought a K824 to put in that Miata this winter. So we have one at my shop ready to go. And the guy we bought it from was like, oh, dude, I bought this to put in my NA Miata, but I crashed it about 3 months before I did the swap. So we are now convinced this engine is cursed.
Or it's just speaks to drivers of NAs right now.
Damn.
Jared's a good
One of the
driver,
two.
But,
Take that, Miata guy.
So we're looking into doing a S20 or wow, I can't talk right now. 240SX hatch swap with the K824.
Okay.
We'll do it the Hertz style because
There you go.
that's what Hertz has in his car.
Yeah, he's got a K24 in there. In the seat time stallion. So there we go. AJ, how have you been? Welcome to the
Not
JV
bad.
squad.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
You're welcome. Nice.
What have I been up to? Not much. I brake checked what I thought was a cop car and got flipped off on the freeway this morning, so that was fun.
Nice.
Why did you brake check what you thought was a cop car?
Okay, so I was on my way to work. I was running a little late, so I was on the freeway doing like 90. And this silver Charger like pulls right up on me and then like sticks on me. And so I got nervous. You know, I know what it looks like when they catch your license plate. So I slam on the brakes to get down to the speed limit. And he slams on his brakes and flies around me. And I realize it's not a cop. It's an Italian couple. And he's flipping me off out the window.
As they are wont to do.
But it was a silver Charger on Steelies. Like,
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It tracks.
right? So, sorry, dude, whoever you are, I apologize.
The question remains, why would you purposely try to brake check a cop?
Oh, I wasn't trying to brake check him. I was just
You were
trying to get
slowing
down to
down.
the speed limit.
Yeah,
So-
you slowed down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
'cause-
I'm on board now.
Because when they get up right behind you, they're pacing you because it has to be within like a certain distance for a certain length behind you for a certain distance of time. I don't know, but yeah, I was not feeling a ticket today.
I mean, I don't think anybody's ever really craving a ticket, so
I mean, unless you're what's his name? Super Speeders, Rob.
yeah.
Yes.
And Matt Farah.
And Matt Farah.
That's a good video.
That is a really fun video.
Well, I have not seen said video. So
You haven't seen it? First
No?
person to get a ticket? It's a great video.
nope, I have not.
That is a throwback to like mid 2000s YouTube right there.
Yeah.
Oof.
I remember watching that in high school. Oh, it was good stuff. Binging
Yeah, that was-
all the funny moments with cops. Yeah.
Yeah, I was that was not what I was watching mid 2000s on YouTube. It was not where I was at.
Well, I was watching these at like early 2010s, so
What were you watching mid 2000s on YouTube, Mike?
Let's see.
I was watching Fred, but just saying.
You were watching Function, weren't you?
Was I ever? I mean, how could you not? Stancewood too. Come on.
Stancewood does.
Oh man, how many other dead properties can we name?
Would You Rather Daily.
Yes. Would you rather daily? That was.
Yom's Random Stats.
Mike apologizes.
My God.
Man.
Oh man.
We threw a
All
lot.
the throwbacks.
We threw a lot at the wall, and this is what stuck.
Somehow, some way.
Somehow. Oh man. Well,
Nobody else got that except Mike and I, but man,
That's
it was worth it all.
that's a joke for the two of us.
Yep.
Yep.
You were just here.
I'm like, should I know these, or are these an inside joke? I don't
No,
know.
Joey, I was not watching bum fights. No, I was on Tuesday night fights on Deadspin though. That was a thing before Deadspin got lame.
Oh, what's up,
So-
Joey?
Yeah, he's in the chat right now. So
What it do?
What up?
You
yep.
gonna be on Rocket League with us tomorrow?
Yeah, Twitch Tuesday. We were playing Rocket League tomorrow. I've been playing it
Ooh.
quite a bit today. So
Such a fun game.
it is. It is. I got the Sweet Tooth truck.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
I use the one that looks like the Munsters car.
Ah, damn it. That's
It's like a Deuce Coupe or something, but it's all stretched out, one huge tires,
nice.
as one does.
Yeah, so that is a thing that we do on Tuesdays until, things get more back to normal, which they appear to slowly be doing. But, I know America, and I know we can't handle too much of a good thing at once. So, Anyway, yeah, twitch.tv/CamAutoMike is where you go if you want to watch. If you want to get on, I mean, it's kind of a benefit of being a Shenanigan member. So that's how you know our gamer tags and all our handles and stuff. Or you can probably go back and listen to another podcast and, it'll
Whatever
be
suits
there.
your fancy.
Exactly. However you want to do it. You can just watch and just get spicy in the Twitch chat or, not whatever. So, yep. Joey is bummed because apparently he does not have it on PS4. But I will give him I'll give you the $15 or $20 or whatever it is so you can join us. I mean, I want a team Sweet Tooth trucks. I think that would be hilarious.
That would be awesome. I'm so down for that.
Yeah, so there you go, Joey. I'll Venmo you $15 or whatever the hell it is. So
Tell you what, Joey, let Mike know whatever the cost is, and I'll Venmo you half.
there we go. Perfect. Then I just want to get AJ a copy of GTA 5 just so we can have a weird family Grand Theft Auto night.
How do you not have GTA 5?
We went over this. I traded it because I got bored with it.
Yeah, he
All my friends play Xbox, and so I played through the campaign and then got bored with it. So I traded it in for. What did I trade it in for? I think I traded it in for Ace Combat. No, Ace Combat. I don't know. I traded it in for something.
well, you did it for
So
something.
you got $4 at GameStop?
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
No, I have a rewards card, so I got $5.50 for it at GameStop.
Nice.
Oh, who buddy?
Oh yeah,
Toko spending that in the one place where you have to spend it.
yeah.
Jesus. I haven't been in a GameStop in a while, but last time I was in there, it was just a sad experience.
It has been a while.
Well, last time I went to when I was with Kit. That was
I remember you telling me about that. That was kind of wild.
That was the start to the SEMA trip.
Yeah, that was.
That was a good idea of what I was going to put myself through for the rest of the week.
Speaking of SEMA, I just got the email saying that registration is now open because apparently SEMA 2020 is happening.
Are we doing it? I'm down. I won't be there.
Since I'm the catch-all email, I got like 17 emails of everybody who's ever been to SEMA and or CAM before of registration options. So, except for me, I did not get one for me.
What?
But that's weird.
Yeah, well, I got one for Zach. I got one for Brandon. I got one for Chirp. I got one for
everybody,
probably, even though he's never been. I don't know. It seems that way.
Hook me up, get me going.
I mean, I'd like to go.
Yeah, I mean,
what's stopping you?
That whole money thing.
Yeah, that might put a damper on my trip. My
hitchhiking.
There you go.
Dude, I'll pick you up.
I mean, but I'm not really good at blowjobs, so.
I wasn't going to ask for a blowjob, but that's fine.
But I mean, if you're going to offer,
yeah,
I'm not going to say no to a bad one.
No, Trent said hitchhiking, so.
Hey, if I'm picking you up with the roadhead all the way there.
God.
There it is. I timed that.
Man, that's terrible. Thank you, Zach.
And I'm out. Thanks, everybody.
All right, have a good night.
All right, well, co-founder of this website's gone. Congratulations, Zach. You've done something that I haven't been able to do for, God, almost 2 decades now.
Catch us next week.
A year and a half. I'm proud of myself.
Man, just, I don't know what it is about you, but you do that. No, so I was supposed to be in Hawaii right now, so somebody else is supposed to be running this show, but because of the apocalypse and everything. So yeah, I've got 1 week of vacation time already tied up for that, and then I don't know, may or may not be doing SEMA. If you guys can put it together and figure out.
I want to go.
Okay, well, we can get you going.
Oh, cool.
So yeah. And then Chirp wants to do PRI, and I'd like to see what that's about. So
ooh, PRI would be sick, and that's in what, Indianapolis?
Indianapolis in winter, baby.
That might be a bit better because that's a lot closer than flying halfway across or almost all the way across the continent. So
yeah, I mean it's a bit closer.
Can I make a statement?
It's just up like 4 states, I think.
Something like that.
I'd be down for PRI.
I want to make a statement real quickly. Now that he's gone, I miss him.
We all miss him. This is gonna
all
be
in our own special way.
Wow.
I'm just ready to hear the voice of God just come through the ether to me from Trent.
Joey pointed out that I am getting hydrated. He then corrected himself. Hydrated. You may or may not be drinking, which, I mean, listen, somebody's gotta.
I mean, I thought I had it covered, but
I mean, what's left in my basement is a bottle of vodka that Gavin brought over and left in my little fridge down here a while ago, or tequila that I brought back from Mexico. So,
you
gonna go ahead.
Sad bastards with your state liquor stores.
I mean,
my heart goes out to you.
It's not fun. I really wish I could just go to a store and buy things,
and buy liquor.
But here I am. Anyway, let's wish happy birthday.
Sorry. Go. Yeah,
I got some birthdays, and then we can get into some news. So, happy birthday to Jeff Woodiot of ISS, Blake Troster of a bunch of local McDonald's, Mike Bronson, Kaden Nielsen, Jeff Hartle, Tyrell Johnson, and John Nads Naderi. Happy birthday, everybody.
Okay, so do we have some news topics? Do we do that here?
We do. This is where I really wish Trent would come in. Because, my God in heaven, he's the one who put this stuff in there.
I'll stop talking about sexual...
Hey! Right on time!
That was actually perfect because I just finished a slice of pizza. And so it worked out well.
Nice.
See, that was the plan all the time, was goad Zach into saying something so that he could cut away, nibble on some pizza off camera, and then come back right conveniently.
Machiavellian in its brilliance.
AJ, you're not as dumb as Zach makes you out to be.
Fuck.
I don't need help with that.
What's going on there? But whatever.
I was about to apologize for my my inappropriate comment, but now fuck you, Trent.
Man.
Love you too, Zach.
Fine, fuck this shit.
Zach, we're wearing hats. I mean, Joey, we're wearing hats because we coordinated this somehow.
Yes, we did.
Yep. I mean, I could put on a different
miss
hat.
you, Zach.
I don't miss you.
Yeah, except I heard you say that you did miss me.
Oh, he has it on film.
Mm-hmm. It's being recorded.
Yeah.
I mean,
I won't hold to the court of law.
Joe, we're blowing Joey's mind because we're all wearing hats.
Hold on. Ready for this?
What?
Llamas with hats?
Whoa. Look at my badass hair.
Oh, look at that. Hold on. I want to do something to continue to blow his mind.
I'll take our hats off just for Joey.
Oh, hang on.
Oh, I got a beanie too somewhere. Where is it?
Yeah, there we go. Other hat.
I'll just put a different hat on.
Hey, hold on.
Totally different type of hat.
I don't have a different type, but I've got a different one.
I want Zach to return with a pith helmet.
or a toque.
Oh. Oh, hold on. I've got one more hat. Trent.
Hang on.
Oh, damn it. Once he gets back, we're going to continue. I'm going to go grab my other hat.
Hang on. Let me go grab my stack of hats, and then I'll just change them out.
Perfect.
Periodically.
All right. Trent, Audi's doing something that I kind of thought they did a while ago.
Right?
Yeah,
that's
what
thing. Makes it funny.
Yeah. So tell us this. I have to go run and grab something real quick.
Okay. So Audi has finally made all-wheel drive standard. So everybody thinks Audi and Quattro are synonymous, and apparently it's just Zach and I talking to the world now.
No, so I didn't want to talk about this too because I just assumed they were all standard. Like I figured you could maybe get like a base A3 in front-wheel drive. But
you could actually get an A4, A5, and A6 even with front-wheel drive, and a base 2-liter turbo motor that only made like 180 horsepower. And so they are now making all-wheel drive standard on the A4 and A5. So that sounds like you can still get a front-wheel drive A3, but they're in doing so, they've bumped the horsepower and put a 12-volt mild hybrid system in, and that's different than their 48-volt system because the 48-volt controls suspension. The 12-volt does not.
Okay. Interesting.
But because Audi's stupid and every car manufacturer is stupid right now when they don't know how to name their cars, there's now
ready for that.
Yeah, there's a 40 level is what they call it. Wow. It's just getting all sorts of saucy in here. There's the 40 level. I was away from the Zoom for a second, and that's why I could actually talk. But now I'm looking at the screen again, and yeah. Anyway, I'll
hold it together.
Get away from that. Yeah. So the 40 level is basically their base motor, which used to make 180 horsepower, 180 something. Anyway, now it gets a 13 horsepower boost to put it over 200. Their 45 level is now 263 horsepower. But they're putting this base motor that makes 200 horsepower now in the A5 Sportback. So basically, if you want a good-looking A5 Sportback, you can now get it with pretty much gutless motor. So that's good news.
That is news. I'm gonna hold back on whether or not it's good.
Yeah. I have to ask: is it like true all-wheel drive, or is it that weird like fake hybrid all-wheel drive where the gas motor runs the rear tires and then the electric motors run the front tires, and it's all-wheel drive but not all-wheel drive?
On these vehicles, it is actual all-wheel drive.
That's good.
Yeah, good. Good to know that Audi's not stirring the pot too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, more from our European overlords.
I want to say a lot about this one when we get there.
All right. Well, we're kind of there.
We're there. We're coming in 2020. Mm-hmm.
At 2022, Volvo is going to be the first production company to use LiDAR in their cars.
That's bad. Do you know why?
Explain it to us, Zach.
No, Zach, tell us
Couldn't
what
even
it
let
is.
him finish. You're just, bam, get in there, go.
Because our Lord and Savior Elon Musk said it was bad.
Well, we'll get to him in a minute.
Oh God, is he on here?
Yeah. I'll let you guess which story title is his.
I'm starting to doubt Elon more and more because LiDAR has been proven multiple times that it's successfully
So, from my
drives
understanding, what his
automated
discussion
vehicles.
was. Yeah, sorry, I just cut you off there. From my understanding, what his point was, I don't think it's Volvo, but other car manufacturers have talked about solely relying on LiDAR as their sole system to run their automated or enhanced driving features. And he's like, that's stupid. You can't rely on it. It can give false positives, X, Y, and Z.
Okay, but
I don't think they're relying on it. I think it's another tool.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Here's the thing, though, is the military has proven LiDAR controlled vehicles that are. I mean, they were using LiDAR to self-drive their vehicles 10 years ago. I don't know why they wouldn't trust it because
yeah, it seems like the only one who's really doubting LiDAR is Elon, and that's just because
it's probably
Elon.
just because it's not his system, and so he's trying to like
it's like it's not his, so he's just not wanting to be a fan of it.
Yeah, because
because it's the way I read it was Elon just being a pestilent child because that's what he is. But also, I saw it as like we've done the research and we've done the information, and he was calling a particular brand. I can't remember who it was, but he was calling. I don't think it was Volvo. I think it was an American maker, and he was like, "You just can't rely on LiDAR as your only system to run your autonomous vehicles."
Yeah, he just strikes me as contrarian for the sheer sake of being contrarian. Like,
100%.
If he wasn't the first one there with the idea, then it's not a good idea. It's a bad idea, and you should feel bad for thinking it was a good idea. So,
these masks really block out volume.
I mean, I can hear fine. It's just I'm not wearing my glasses right now, so I can't see. Hold on, I'm going to see if I can make this work.
So hard. Come on, please do it. Please do it.
I mean, DARPA has.
Yeah, it's not working.
Do it over it. Do you think it'll fit by like the headphones and stuff?
Oh, okay. Oh, shit. Yeah.
There you go.
Back.
There you go.
Hey!
I
Nailed it.
I don't have a luchador mask.
We'll get you one.
This is thanks to Mike.
You're welcome.
So I followed along a little bit, but
Good.
yeah. So there was actually a correction in this story. LiDAR has been used before, but never for level 4 autonomy.
What's level 4 autonomy then?
Basically hands-off.
Car drives itself. Yeah.
They must only be talking about civilian vehicles then, because DARPA's had level 4
production vehicles.
Yeah.
They ran the Baja 200 with an autonomous vehicle or whatever the fuck that was back in 2012.
Yeah,
Something
well,
like
and
that,
they put a LiDAR system on an APC and drove it around by itself as a potential automated troop carrier, and that was successful.
And all of Boston Dynamics systems run, or all their bull and all their other bullshit all run
LiDAR.
Yeah, I think the point he was trying to make, but it's Elon, so he doesn't say anything useful, is that like it's a great system. Don't rely on it for covering the entire spectrum of what you're looking for.
Yep.
I don't know. I think he's just mad that he didn't come up with it.
I mean, I think it's a little from column A and a little from column B. So
Pretty much.
Yep.
But there's some good news.
Oh, thank God. That's what we need right now.
Actual good news.
Oh, shit.
Actually.
Yeah. Traffic deaths are down for the 3rd straight year.
Well, hot damn.
Yeah.
Is that just because nobody's driving this year?
No, this is 2019 data.
Oh, okay.
So it dropped 1.2% in 2019. They're hopeful that 2020 will go down because people aren't driving, but they're not counting it yet because they're basically saying once people get back on the road, they're going to have some pent up energy, and
God, yeah,
it could cause some more crashes.
People in California are getting 100 mile an hour speed tickets right now because nobody's on the freeway.
I can see that.
Yep. The question is, how am I supposed to drink out of this thing, by the way?
I don't know. See what you can do.
Through the fabric.
A straw? Is there a mouth hole? I forgot what yours is like.
There's no mouth hole. There's barely eye holes. It's mesh covering the eyes.
Well, I don't know what to tell you here, bud. I can barely see.
It's very difficult to breathe.
Well, we're wearing our PPE, so I think we're safe.
There it is.
I have a photo of this if you want to make this like the photo or whatever.
I already put
this is Matthew Bennett, by the way. He's
oh, hi, Matt.
Backwards, but damn you all, Boolin.
Yep, you could have been a part of this, bud.
You could have been here.
Oh well.
Okay, I'm taking this off. I can't feel my nose anymore.
Okay, I'm gonna launch into the next story, and then, man, Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee has had its last cup. Excellent work, Trent. Excellent work.
Thank you. I appreciate you liking my titles.
Hey, man, it's a thing.
So. Yeah, it is unfortunate though because I enjoyed it. I honestly can't say I was a big time subscriber to it. I wasn't like, oh, new episode, let's watch it. But I did go back and watch them and enjoyed them. Most of them, I should say. It was kind of uneven.
You found the ones you watched the ones that you found interesting, like?
Not necessarily. I watched them. Pretty much all of them, but
but just when you had free time and you felt interested.
Yeah. I wasn't like sitting there hitting refresh, waiting for the next episode to come out. The problem was it also jumped networks. Like it was on Crackle for a while.
Yeah,
and then it was on YouTube, and then it was on Netflix, and then it was on its own thing. Like
it just kind of went around, and it was a little hard to keep up with in that respect.
Yeah,
but. Yeah, I'm kind of not surprised it's probably at the end, just because it seemed like it had already kind of run its course. So
yeah, that's exactly what Jerry Seinfeld said. You were talking about his stand-up special that's coming out. And they're like, oh, what about Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee?
What's the deal with comedians? I can't do it.
Yeah, and
I love that you tried, though.
Something for him.
And I don't want you to stop.
He said that it's kind of already been done. So,
no.
Wait. Does he drive his own cars too?
Occasionally, but usually they're someone else's cars.
Yeah.
No. I'm making a joke with who's the guy who does the cars in karaoke and you got called out for not driving his own
James
cars?
Corden.
Yeah, there we go. That guy.
Yeah.
That was the joke I was trying to make.
Yeah. Hey.
Can we all just appreciate the fact that he is not trying to beat something successful into the ground, unlike everybody else in the world right now?
Well, that's what he did with his TV show.
Yeah, he did that for 9 seasons with the worst series ending ever.
Yeah, it just kind of ended.
If I remember correctly, he wanted to end it sooner, but the network was getting so many views, they forced him to keep going with it, and so it just kept getting worse and worse.
You started seeing more and more cast names as producers and directors.
Yeah, and finally it was just like, all right, we're done here.
Yeah.
All right, I tried to keep this going on longer than you guys.
It's all right.
I can't breathe.
It's okay. They are kind of oppressive.
Yes.
And, speaking of oppression, the hero we need is standing up for your right to go into work in the middle of the apocalypse.
Hey, I'm Team Elon on this. I'm going to be against the grain here, against you guys at least. I'm going to be on Team Elon because he did get approval from the state of California to resume production Alameda County in California shut him down and said, "You can't go to work. We don't care what the governor says."
Because you didn't really explain this. Elon is trying to sue California, Nevada, and Texas.
No, he's trying to. He's not trying to. He's trying to sue Alameda County, but he's threatening to take Tesla out of California and either go to Nevada or Texas.
Yeah. So I actually thought a lot about this morning because I had free time to think. I see both sides of the story here. Because he's trying to make more money because he's a billionaire and, as you described it, a piss baby.
He is a billionaire piss baby, yes.
But two, he is looking out for his employees. He has I read a number somewhere, but it's what he has 10,000 employees, 40,000 employees, somewhere in there.
Something like that.
He has a shitload of employees that are all now, or not all out of work, but all his factory employees are out of work, all his California-based employees are out of work, and he has to pay them due to just what's going on, but also he's not making any money. So how is this a ongoing situation? Like, I don't know. I see both sides.
Yeah, I mean,
but the thing is, I think with Elon is he's honestly just trying to make ends meet. He's not like extremely liquid with cash like everybody thinks he is.
Yeah, he's really tied up in all of his.
He's living paycheck to paycheck, and Alameda. He's living paycheck to paycheck, and Alameda County is shutting him down. So he's doing what he can, just like the rest of us, except he can't file unemployment. So he's saying, I need to get back to work and work on these cars and keep the shareholders happy. And California is telling me yes, but somebody smaller than the governor is shutting him down. So he's pissed about it, which I get.
I could see where he is like angry about it. It's just the whole like throwing a temper tantrum on Twitter and threatening to just like up and leave, and also announcing that that's where you filed. That is the place where you're telling the world that you have filed suit.
Well, look at Elon's past. That's what he does.
Yeah. My God, you mean to tell me somebody who thinks he's the smartest guy in the room and often is, but not all the time, is just going to throw a temper tantrum on Twitter? My God in heaven.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the way of the time, though, now, is to just light a dumpster fire on Twitter if you're mad about something.
Yep.
It's very fitting for the area in which he's attacking, because I feel like a lot of Alameda County would be taking to Twitter.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Do the same.
Yeah, like it's
kind of the area where Twitter was born.
Like, it is the least surprising course of action that he could have taken. So, like, if he did anything other than get mad on Twitter, I would have been shocked.
It would be San Francisco that's not letting him do it anyway.
The funny thing is, though, through this whole thing is he's like, maybe I'll go to Nevada. And look at Las Vegas. Las Vegas is still shut down. Like, I mean, I don't think the Nevada governor is going to change that much.
Isn't the Gigafactory in Nevada right now?
Yeah.
So I would assume that he'd have some insight if that's open, or if that was open, that might be a motivating factor to move there.
Right.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know. It's just.
But the thing is, I mean, he basically, said, I've got orders from the governor, and resumed production anyway.
Yeah.
So even though Alameda County shut him down, said no, he went ahead and started building cars on Sunday.
Yeah.
So I do have one. I want to do a hot take here real quickly.
Ooh, get spicy with it.
What do you guys think about his kid's name?
I just want, like, the last bit of it to be forever pronounced Oxcart. Like, I don't give a shit about the first bit, but when you get to A12, no, that's Oxcart. All right? Not Cygnus or Arcturus or whatever the shit they're trying to push. No. It will forever be Oxcart.
They're saying that it translates to Kyle, yeah.
Yeah, I like the Kyle theory right now. He's going to naming his kid Kyle. Yeah.
God.
That makes me happy.
I just want the world to end right now. Fucking Christ.
I mean, it's not like it's not trying. It's actively trying to end right now, so.
Just let it happen, man.
Utah got pretty close, a month ago?
Man. I mean, despite our best efforts, we can either keep this thing going in a nice, healthy fashion, and we can't just fucking end it. Jesus.
Wow, it's like a bad relationship.
We're a sad middle school kid.
Jackson, check your Snapchat, asshole.
All right.
He's in the comments.
For those listening on Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday
yeah.
or whatever, that was
informative.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm here for it.
this is amazing.
Someone's thinking about that.
But the funny thing is, over this, Elon resuming Tesla production, Alameda County basically backed down. They're like, well, you need to have a modified site-specific plan, and they've notified Tesla that they can't keep working until they have a plan in place. And Tesla says, we'll submit a plan. So basically, Alameda County's backing down to what Elon's doing. So
there we go.
I can kind of see it because he's a big influencer in that community, and if you make him mad, he's gonna name his kid Kyle.
Name his kid Kyle and get pissy on Twitter.
Yeah.
Maybe if we piss him off enough, he'll retire to his secret
Mars
lair. His secret lair on his James Bond villain island.
Yeah, head back to Spider Skull Island.
We won't have to hear from him again.
Oh no, we'll hear from him again.
Trent, what's the guy's name? Simpsons reference here.
Ink Scorpio.
There we go.
Just waiting for Project Arcturus to happen.
What's the name of the town that he creates? Hank Scorpio. Globex is the company, but I can't think of the town now.
I can't remember. I remember that they live on Maple Systems Way.
Ah, yes.
I can't remember the name of the town.
Dang it.
Place where the bums wouldn't get the bums rush if they had bums. It has a hammock district.
Yes.
Oh, so it's in Hawaii.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
This is
All right, I'm looking this up.
yeah,
there's one more story.
Too. Yes, it's about Volvo as well.
Okay.
So yeah, we have a second Volvo story, but it's something they've tried before and failed at, and they're gonna do it again.
Is it car sharing? Please tell me it's car sharing.
It is not car sharing.
Oh.
It is a 4-seater, basically XC90.
Oh.
So
okay.
they had the XC90 Cypress Creek. There we go.
Yes.
The town is called Cypress Creek.
Some nice place upstate.
Yes. Yeah, so they had the XC90 Excellence, which is $105,000 XC90 with 4 seats, extra nice materials and whatnot.
That's a lot of money.
That they couldn't sell, so they offered a $40,000 rebate on. Yeah, $40,000 rebate.
So they're trying to pull the Range Rover.
No, they're trying to pull the VW Phaeton. That's what they're trying to do.
Well,
basically.
the Phaeton was a sedan.
But I mean, same
It's
same
the
concept.
same concept.
No,
Thank you,
what
Mike.
I was going to refer this more to as was the Range Rover Autobiography Edition, which has
That's what the Excellence was trying to do.
Yeah,
but now they're trying to come out with a whole new model.
Yeah,
that is the Phaeton style. Basically, 4-seater SUV, ditch the third row, all electric, and the XC90 Excellence was their plug-in hybrid thing. But anyway, they're calling it the XC100 Recharge. Expect to see it in a couple years' time, but basically based on an XC90 and fancier and higher end, and sold exclusively with 4 seats.
Well,
so.
Again, why do you keep calling it the Phaeton thing? The Phaeton's a 4-door sedan.
but no, this was.
Well, no,
Follow the words of my mouth.
So
the Phaeton you could also get with a rear bench.
Well, no. It was Volkswagen.
You were missing the point entirely. Do you get this, AJ?
Yeah, I get it now. I get it now.
No, I get it. Zach,
Thank you.
The Phaeton is the upgraded version. It's the luxury version of the lower-end car.
No, Zach, no. This is like VW trying to not be VW anymore.
VW basically selling you an A8.
They're trying to be Audi. They're trying to be Audi. Even though they're VW and Audi's in their group and all that, I get it. VW's trying to make a whole new car that makes them Audi, but still is a VW badge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Volvo is trying to make a fancy Volvo that isn't a Volvo, but is a Volvo. So it's same concept. Has nothing to do with the 4 seats or anything like that.
May I attempt to boil this down even further?
Do it, Mike.
Okay. The Phaeton was Volkswagen trying to sell you an Audi-priced car, but with a Volkswagen badge.
Yeah, and I'm aware of that.
And Volvo is trying to sell you, like, a Range Rover-priced vehicle, but with a Volvo badge.
Well, but the Volvo badge means more than the Volkswagen badge did.
But it doesn't mean a Range Rover badge.
No, of course.
Yeah, like a Range Rover, I show you that price tag on a Range Rover. Some people are just going to be like, yeah, sure. But I show you that on a Volvo. It's like, ugh, they get that pricey?
I see Volvo as they're competing with the Volkswagen, or sorry, the BMW market right now.
They're getting there. But it's still that's still a number that causes a lot of people to tug at their collars. So,
I mean, Volvo has kind of always been in a class of its own.
Yeah.
Where it's not really competing with anybody. They kind of just do their own thing. And I mean, while they have had, competitive prices, they haven't been, cheap or janky. I don't know why they're trying to step into that next bracket when they really didn't need to up their game all that much.
I think money.
Am I all wet here?
I completely agree with you, but it's money. They're just trying to get margins up. They can do that by tacking a little bit of extra leather. Yeah, rookie. You got to pump up those rookie numbers.
Numbers, get them up. So there we go, folks. That was the news. And as I was I didn't go to work today because I was up till 2 with a panic attack and shooting back and chest pain. So, only slept for 2 hours. So I just decided to take one of my personal days today. So as I was laying flat on my back in my living room, trying to get my back loose, this question came to me after I had watched the new Mighty Car Mods video where Moog gets himself a BRZ. And was a car that won you over because Moog did not like the BRZ the couple of times he drove it, but now that he owns one and actually can, do more stuff with it instead of kind of these confined tests, he actually likes it. He gets it now. So I was curious, what are some cars that you were not fans of that won you over? All right, Zach had his hand up first.
I actually have a great example from this weekend.
Okay.
I drove my first 350Z.
Yeah.
All the fanboy hate about them, whatever. I actually
didn't like the 350Z before?
I did not like it. I saw there was other options for the same price point, in my perspective, that were worth my time more than the 350Z was.
Like what?
Yeah, I'd like to know.
What is the 350Z going for now? What, 7
Less
to 10?
than 10, yeah.
Anywhere from $12 to like $12,000, depending on how much of a pro-am fuck up it is.
Depending on how much of the interior is left in it.
Yeah. No, you can pick up. I'm trying to think of good examples now. I had examples.
So like a running and driving one that you can like clean title, not like a museum quality one, is like 7, 8, something in there.
Okay. You can get a lot for $7 or $8,000.
Yes, you can.
I'll come up with a better example here in a minute. I don't have any good examples off the top of my head right now.
What can you get for $7 or $8,000 that's as good as a 350Z though?
Yeah, that's the thing. I think it's a great value proposition, honestly.
I mean, you can't even get a G35 for that money. You can't get a G35 that's under $10,000. That's worth anything.
That's right.
Yeah, you can go for like an automatic sedan, but
no. So Joey says list of cars you're not allowed to like openly 350Z.
350Z. Like, he's not wrong.
So that's kind of where my thoughts came from. Was like it was a community hatred of this vehicle, and I've always kind of thought of it that way. And I'm like, I don't like their styling very much, and I've heard horror stories and stuff. So when I got to drive one, I was thoroughly surprised. Like, it's not the fastest car I've ever driven. It's not even the best handling car I've ever driven. But
let's just say in Mexico there just happens to be an S curve a lot like Little Cottonwood Canyon, where you can basically, that section where you can just cut straight through those multiple S's. Let's just say in Mexico, I got a 350Z to 130 through there. So
hypothetically,
hypothetically, they're pretty dang respectable cars for the price.
And that's how I came out of this experience, was realizing like, no, these are actually a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun zipping through traffic. The owner of it, who didn't know if it had an LST or an open differential, let me try drifting it to determine the outcome of that situation. And like, it handled really well, even like in a controlled slide. Like, I really enjoyed the car. It gained a lot of respect for me.
I mean, call back to, I don't remember what episode it was, but you guys were talking about
you know more than we do.
Drift. You guys were talking about Drift Utah, and you were saying that
the one
of the best intro cars for anybody who wants to get drifting is a 350Z. Because you can pick them up dirt cheap, they can handle the slideys, and if you put the bumper into a K-rail, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah. The only
that's the thing is, it's like I was surprised that you had
so the way I was saying this, like I thought I'm not looking at them, so I don't know pricing on them, but I thought they were like 9 to 12, 9 to 11 maybe. And I'm like, well, for that kind of money, I could save $2,000 and end up with a 911 and achieve similar things, have a little bit more prestige because of the Porsche badge. Granted, it might be a little less reliable because it's German versus Japanese.
What kind of 911 are you getting for $7?
No. I in my head, I thought.
What kind of 911 are you getting for $12?
A 996 that's not in fantastic shape, but you can't get them.
There are a handful of, you get 996 Carrera 2s and Carrera 4s, convertible mostly.
So the leftovers basically that somebody bought for their wife, and she put $50K on it, and then they
the divorce special.
Yeah, there you go.
And they're still good cars. They're still a Porsche. Porsche.
The menopause go-to vehicle there.
Okay, I wasn't ready for that imagery, but thank you. So that was my spiel. I gained respect for 350C this weekend.
That's good.
I think
you got some respect for it now.
I think Joey hit the nail on the head in the chat there.
Oh, yes, he did. God, I don't want to read this.
Literally, no, I just said there's literally nothing wrong with him except that social media dictates disliking them, and I think that's absolutely correct.
What is Jackson blabbering about?
Your Subaru.
He's a fan of your Subaru. So
what?
The Subarus for me absolutely do not care for WRX STI, do not care for an EJ25 Outback that's connected to an automatic. How dare you? But Zach's Easy 30 swapped wagon, insane to run corners in, and no one expects it.
Run corners in? Dude, that thing has all the body roll. I fear rolling that thing on a mild breeze in a 45-degree corner at 50.
Damn.
Jeez.
Apparently that's his kink.
All right. Well, there it is. Then, Trent, you had your hand up next.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I still don't obsessively love them as much as everybody else does, but I did gain respect when I first drove an NA Miata. So I always thought they were granted, this is back in 2004, 2003, 2002, something like that. I
was like 5.
Shortly after I started driving. I thought they were more the hairdresser cars. I mean, yeah, they handle well, but it still was, gutless, and it wasn't a car I liked much. But then I drove one extensively, and it reminded me a lot of my go-kart racing days of the Briggs & Stratton 5-horsepower motor, where it's like you had to be on the throttle all the time, even in the corners, to keep the momentum up. But if you did, it was so rewarding. And that's an NA Miata.
Yeah,
I had that same experience with that one that my buddy crashed recently, but he let me drive it before I crashed it, and same thing where I thought it was a girl's car, and but then he's like, no, through this corner, I want you to leave the pedal down in third, and you're going to exit at about 80, and it's going to be fine. And the car didn't question it, didn't screamed, and it wanted more of it.
Yeah, those things are that is why everybody says if you want to get into track stuff, you either need to go get yourself some variety of like a properly sorted Honda or a Miata, because front-wheel drive will teach you things, but a Miata is going to teach you conservation of momentum. Like, it's going to teach you to not get on the brakes too early or too hard, and like that you need to get on the gas at exactly the right time because you are slowly losing momentum every degree you turn that wheel. So yeah, like they're the kind of dumb fun where it's just like, Brandon Kuhn brought this up. That was a car that won him over. And that is a car where the adage of it's more fun to drive a slow car fast than a fast car slow really applies.
Yeah.
So
I was about to say that, yeah, getting good at driving a slow car fast really shows kind of your level of skill, really.
I had more fun bombing that Miata down the backside of Immigration than I've had driving the 911 up canyons, because I know the car's not going to kill me, so I can really push it.
yeah. All right. Well, AJ, what is something that won you over?
I commented on this not knowing that I was going to be on the cast tonight, so
Yeah, we didn't think we were going to call you up, but here we are.
but here we are. I guess I'll just give my answer and then you don't have to read it later. So Justin's been on a Saab kick basically as long as I've known him, and
Basically his entire life.
Basically his entire life. And honestly, for the longest time, I thought he was kind of out there. I'd never really heard of him beforehand, and I didn't know much about him. And the small amount of research I did, I was like, really, you're putting all your eggs into this basket? And then, sure enough, I drove his SPG, and I got it. You know, that thing.
SPG, you might need a.
It's a 900 Saab 900 SPG.
Oh, okay, yeah. There you go.
Yeah, his little Edwardian gray one, and it just clicked. Like, it's not the fastest car in the world, but the turbo is super responsive. It's super perky, and for being a front wheel drive car, the thing is on rails, and it's a pleasure to drive, even though it's not that fast, and it's really not even that dramatic, just because it really does what you want it to do. But it's a joy to drive, and that did it for me.
Nice. Are you getting emotional over there, AJ?
I am a little bit, yeah.
He's been drinking pretty heavily.
I have been drinking pretty heavily, and no, it's. I think about it because Justin's been a much Saab fan a lot longer than I have, but somehow I'm the Saab guy, so it's kind of interesting.
I mean, yeah,
I still want to drive a Saab. It's on my bucket list. I haven't driven one that I can think of.
Definitely, if you can get your hands on an SPG, a 900 SPG, go for that. The later model cars are okay.
Subaru.
The best looking WRX, you mean?
Yeah, the proper WRX.
Yeah, there we go.
I'd say drive something pre-GM because they kind of
They
got rid of.
I did ride in a.
Hey, I still want a 97X Aero.
Oh, I mean, okay. I don't think anybody's going to argue that one.
The GM-ified.
Yeah, so I rode one of those. What's the name? The X or a V?
The Blazer with the Saab badge on it.
Oh no, not that one. Then what's the GM smaller convertible one?
GM the 9.3.
9.3. There's a name for it with like a V or an X.
It's just a 9.3 convertible.
But there's like a package or something.
There's 9.3 Aero.
No.
Give me a minute. I'll blurt it out here in a minute.
Okay.
I'm trying.
Well, you do that, and as you will most assuredly interrupt me. So I had, when the 5th Gen Camaro came out, and after, all the jokes of it being the size of a house with gun slits in it for windows.
The X3 Biggin.
The Biggin? Yeah. Those things are tight.
I rode
9.3 Biggin, yeah.
Did the Biggin come in a convertible?
No, maybe I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my mind. Sorry.
Because the Biggin was just the
convertible.
Yeah, the Biggin was just the coupe and the 5-door hatch.
What the fuck am I thinking about now? I don't know. Okay, ignore me.
Whatever. Yeah, so I always made jokes that it was a boat, and that clearly the Mustang is the superior one because it's not displacing several thousand tons like the Camaro is. But I had never driven a Mustang, and I was really just like, well, I mean, it's going to be better like clearly it's going to be better, but it's not going to be great. And then I drove Alex Crane's Mustang, his Boss 302 Laguna Seca. I'm just like, okay, so this is like top tier Mustang, and it's arguably one of the greatest things I've ever driven, and that includes an NA1 NSX. So I'm like, maybe even just a regular ass Mustang wouldn't be so terrible. So
I sure sold you my convertible one.
I didn't want any part of that.
What?
I was born on a day, but it wasn't yesterday. So anyway.
Thanks for keeping my feelings in mind.
Hey, no problem. That's what I'm here for.
Zach, don't you have the college girl Mustang?
I had a
didn't you have a college girl Mustang?
It was a 4-cylinder automatic convertible Fox body.
So you had like the raunchy housewife Mustang.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Man, that was. Anyway, let's get into some reader responses here. We got one in Motoring United. Wes Tarbox was he wouldn't say he hated the Cayman before he drove one around a short road course, but he was real skeptical about the PDK and just how fun that thing would be. And after 9 laps, the instructor let him turn up the wick, and he was very impressed with it. So, and I will say, I have seen some of those at some PCA days out there just getting it. So, the Cayman is a very capable thing, more so than somebody who thinks their 968 is the greatest Porsche that you could possibly get your hands on. Yeah. Anyway.
Wait. Who thinks the 968 is the greatest one?
There are a lot of idiots in the Porsche Club of America. Some of the things I've heard in a paddock. I don't know these people, but it's just like some dude was really talking up his 968. And I'm like,
okay, I can think of a lot of reasons why it wouldn't be, but whatever.
Hey man, some people just really love things. So, and he clearly loves the shit out of that, even though it's sometimes love is wrong. So, moving on. Drift Utah, Nick Stuckey says Tesla S for sure. Or just the idea of electric in general. It's going to ruin all of you. Yes. Yeah. It's we all remember the video of him drifting the Tesla Model S that me and Zach put together.
I have so much more respect for him after I drifted Will's Model 3.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tesla Insider Will.
Yes.
Insider. Because I need to ask him, but the one I drifted, when you pulled the ABS fuse, or we unplugged the ABS, you lose power of steering. And I wonder if that happened to the Model S, because that car is almost like, it's so hard because a normal car you drift, you use your throttle response and your torque curve to modulate the angle of the car. But in a Tesla, 10% throttle is the same torque as 100% throttle. And so it's more of a, as it was described to me by Will, was a on-off, 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 on-off to modulate the back end.
Just like we do in the dark days of Forza drifting with a controller.
Well, it's like anybody who's driven a high-powered RC car understands that concept.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
I actually have driven I got to drive a Model S. No, it wasn't Model S. It was whatever the highest model sedan was a couple of years ago.
Yes.
And yeah, I got to drive one of those flat out, and it really is an interesting experience. Like,
did you freak out when it did shift on you?
Yeah, a little bit. You're like sitting there and you're bracing for it.
Yeah, you're ready for a shift, and it doesn't fucking happen. Like,
nothing.
You're programmed to think that.
Well, and there's no roll up into the torque curve. I mean, because even, I've been in the passenger seat launching in a GTR, and even that with the launch control has a bit of a
ramp up. Yeah,
a ramp up. The Tesla is just.
Yeah, the threes do actually have a ramp up. It limits power till I think 25 miles an hour. So you only get like 50 or 60% power below 25 miles an hour because it tries to keep you on the road basically. Then after that, it's the same all the way up.
I feel like they would do better having some sort of system with the throttle where even if you boot it, it like applies the power as opposed to just neutering it until you hit 25. But that's just me.
It's not as like if you drove it without knowing that, you probably wouldn't notice it. But as soon as you realize it, you can kind of tell. It's like it's like hitting a variable valve timing in like a Scion XP. Like you can tell it's there, but if you're not looking for it, you're not going to notice it.
Okay.
I described it pretty aggressively.
All right, we got a couple more responses. Luke Dreyer used to talk a lot of crap on B13 Centras when I just got my license. I drove a non-SER and was impressed. It's a good setup, and I did own one SER for a bit. Sold it because it didn't have the X factor that the P10 has, his Primera. I thought the two chassis would be almost twins, but yeah, they weren't. So there is that. And then over on the Cam Proper page, also on Instagram, Andy Munch, he did not think the new NSX was going to be as good as it is. He kind of went in there. He does some instructing for NASA. So somebody brought one, and he got to instruct. And it turns out it was a lot better than he thought it was going to be. Whole lot of heart eye emojis in his response on Instagram. And then over here on the Facebook page, let's see, wait for this thing to load because, internet. Come on, there we go. Oh, by the way, the picture that I posted, that is Trevor Pope's BRZ, and he didn't think anybody took a picture of it with all the painter's tape on there. I reminded him that he cannot escape me when you're out there in a NASA event. I will shoot everything.
How wrong he was.
Right? And let's see. Yeah, AJ commented before he knew he was going to be on here, so we'll just go ahead and skip that. Although there was some fun discussion between you, Brandon, and Justin. So there was that.
What did we talk about?
Well, actually, you didn't. You kind of fell off that. But Brandon McConkey said he doesn't think you'll ever understand the Saab obsession. And then Justin jumped in until you drive one, and a good one at that.
He's absolutely right though. Like you don't get it until you drive it.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to answer Luke's question here in the chat. He says his motor doesn't lag. Lag was not the right term. It's part of the programming where basically it limits power output. And you said 60%. That was a little bit of an exaggeration there. It basically tries to prevent wheel spin even on performance mode below 10 or 15 miles an hour, so you don't just roast the tires off the line. But as soon as it's gripping, it starts to unopen it, and then as soon as you hit 15 or 20, whatever the number Bill said it was, you have the full power band at your disposal. Oh,
so it's basically traction control from the sound of it.
Yeah, but
a crude form of launch control.
Yeah, more or less. I actually had to ask Will this. No Tesla has launch control. Even the ludicrous mode, it's break-in power. You just stomp on it, and that's
interesting.
Yeah.
Then next up is Joey, but he also threw something in the chat. Where the hell was it? And yes, why the hell did I not suggest Volvos originally? I miss my 740 Turbo on a metaphysical level. Such a great car. And then he talks about the time that he drove Chirp's Mustang. Didn't even really hate Mustangs, but figured out that V8s are cool. So that is a learning moment. And then Brandon McConkey, I've been pleasantly surprised, but never really gone from hate to love. My Viper truck was a lot more fun than I expected, but I never thought it was going to be terrible, and I wanted to dislike the Panamera Turbo because it looks like a potato bug, but I really enjoyed it. Let's see, Jamal was unaware of the power that the GM 3800 series V6s could hold, especially when you throw a supercharger on them. And then Brian Beckstead, this one came in and I did not see it. I was dead set against rear-wheel drive and BMWs before I picked up a used E90 335i for a great deal. I installed a JB4, Swift Spring BC Racing coilovers, and HKS Super Sequential blow-off valve to get rid of the blown factory diverter valves. It was super fun to pop the blow-off valve, have people look right past my white BMW. The HKS is a...
The question is, why were you against rear-wheel drive and BMWs? Like, I understand not wanting to own one, but you got to respect them because they handle really well.
Like,
some people just don't like nice things.
Yeah, like I can see one or the other, but like both is an interesting one.
I'll give it to you. Not everybody wants to own a BMW, and that's fine. But you still
Yeah.
Got to understand that they're decent cars.
Then
They have their issues, but everybody does.
Speaking of issues, then the reliability problems hit and it ruined the experience. But I have a manual E39 540i torn apart in my garage now. My daily is a B8.5 S4, but I am repairing the 540i to feed my rear-wheel drive handling obsession. So, hey man, shout out to you. Glutton for punishment. And then Trevor, his, again, noticing that somebody took a picture of his masking tape handiwork. So I didn't know this. He had a kind of built 05 STI before he got the BRZ. And he convinced himself by arguing that adding power to the BRZ to make it feel like the STI would be easy, but modding the STI to handle like the BRZ would be much less feasible. After driving it for a week, the BRZ, going back to the STI felt like driving a truck. So, interesting. He has no regrets about what he has done, which I don't think he should. Let's see, Brandon Kuhn, we already mentioned his Miata. He grew up on American Muscle, and the NA was a new thing when he was learning how to drive. He drove mine for the first time, broke it, and then got Professor Dave over there 2 days later because he wanted that thing fixed and wanted to drive it again. Casey said 350Z, just like our boy Zach. And
hey, I don't feel that bad now that Casey said it.
Yeah. Let's see, Joey again. He would like to add that he drove a Chrysler New Yorker one time, and you know what, boomers? I get it. I totally get it. Yeah, and then, so I didn't know this. Friend of the program, Alex Presop, he has that really awesome spoon liveried Honda Del Sol.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, I've seen that car before.
Yeah. So I didn't know this, but this is his story. Honestly, I hated Del Sols, but ended up trading my Integra for my current one because the Integra felt too big. It came from a 91 CRX to the Integra. But the funny is, just flip the Del Sol for another CRX or hatch. 11 years later, we're in love, I think. So, yeah, like he had that Integra for like a couple of months and never bothered registering it. So, yeah. I had no idea how he came to the Del Sol because I've only ever known him with the Del Sol. So, yeah. So there we go. Damn it. Yeah, so there we go, folks. Thank you for chiming in. Again, we put that in a lot of places. Just, wherever you see us on social media, that's where we're usually asking a question. We put it up there on Mondays, so please feel free to chime in. And now we have some racing news.
Yes.
That we need to get into. And we're going to kind of go through this a little quick because, I seem to be the only one who necessarily cares about some of this stuff. But I think you might care. Some people might care about this.
There's a pretty bombshell racing news in there. So I'm looking forward to that one.
I mean, the last story would have been perfect if, I don't know, our drunk uncle or our, questionable stepfather were here. But no. Fuck me for trying to entice them back into our lives with fun stories.
You did a good job. But...
I tried. I really did. That's all I could do, I guess. Anyway, so the 24 Hours of Law is coming up. It's going to be held in September. And the GTE Pro field, where you usually see the Corvettes and the top-tier Porsches and, Aston Martin, everybody, it's down to 9 cars because Corvette Racing will not be participating, and the IMSA Porsche GT team, the American Porsche team, will also not be participating. This is pretty much just entirely because of the virus and cost cutting. So, because it's very expensive to ship the cars over there because those cars live here full time and everybody associated with those cars lives here full time. So GM and Porsche really don't want to spend that extra money getting the cars back over there. But Porsche will still be running their 2 WEC entries with their WEC lineup in the race. So if you're a Porsche fan, there you go. You can still see that.
Yeah, Gavin.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I will be able to go to Hawaii, our rescheduled Hawaii trip with my girlfriend and her family because NASA Nationals have been canceled. They were supposed to be happening in September here at lovely scenic UMC, but unfortunately, because of uncertainty around a lot of travel restrictions, those got canned. But now all the different regions now have time to focus on having the best season that they possibly can, and everybody's going to try to hit it again in 2021. Fingers crossed they come back in 2021, because NASA Nationals is always an awesome time, and I feel we got screwed over. I'd like that to happen. Then we've talked about this a little bit. The Le Mans date, the top tier IMSA prototypes, the LMP1 cars, their hybrid regulations have been released, or at least the first draft of them. They're going to be based on the LMP2 formula, which is cost capped. The manufacturers will be in there. They will have their own stylized bodyworks and their name on an engine. But the cars themselves will actually be built by one of 4 constructors, either Ligier, Multimatic, Orica, or Dallara. And this came in as I was popping this in there. So the IMSA cars, they will have 670 combined horsepower between the combustion engine and the spec hybrid system, and they will be carrying a minimum weight of 1,030 kilos. The WEC hypercar regs had those cars making 750 horsepower between their combustion engine and their bespoke hybrid system, which can work in any number of ways. But they were also going to be weighing 1,100 kilograms. But literally, as I was putting this in there, the FIA came out and said that they had adjusted the hypercar regulations to line up exactly with the power and weight of the IMSA cars. So,
okay.
Yep. So the hypercars will be making 670 horsepower between their hybrid and combustion engines and weigh 1,030 kilos at minimum. So there we go. You will have 2 very different ways of winning Le Mans outright, starting in 2021. And Peugeot is still wanting to get into it, by the way. I didn't throw that in there, but they're still really wanting to get back into the top tier of racing, so with sports car racing. And then the story that I thought would get either Chirp or Brandon here, but it has got us neither. It is at the end of the 2020 season, whatever the hell that actually is.
Right.
Seriously. Sebastian Vettel and Scuderia Ferrari will split up. And this is something you could probably see as soon as Charles Leclerc came up from Alfa Romeo. But still, it's really kind of rough to see a 4-time world champion go from one of the most legendary F1 teams to maybe Renault. Yeah. Maybe Renault to maybe drive with a guy who upstaged him in his last year at Red Bull.
But there's I don't know. I think he proved to be too much of a hothead that.
Oh yeah.
When some people use their anger to increase their abilities.
Yeah.
He just did the exact opposite and just proved it over and over again. And
yeah, instead of being like a good teammate, he took every opportunity to try to be, the number 1 driver, which is not great. So, we all remember an exasperated Mark Webber just coming into the cool down room and just throwing his hands up and saying, multi-21, Seb, multi-21. And, so. But rumor is that Carlos Sainz, because his deal is up at the end of the 2020 season as well, he may leave McLaren and join the team from Maranello. Or, Lewis Hamilton, his deal is also up at the end of the year. So there's that. But I don't think he's going to go anywhere. And then, possible landing spots for Seb are McLaren, because they will have a seat available, and I pray for Lando if that ends up happening. I really don't want to see what Sebastian would do to our sweet, sweet boy, Lando. Or, like I said, Renault. But that could be very interesting because, Daniel Ricciardo is just not – he's not down for it anymore. He thought it was going to be a good move, but it's just not working out for him. So Sebastian Vettel and Esteban Ocon, a guy who,
that would be interesting.
Oh God, it would just be a whole lot of team-on-team violence. And I'm kind of here for that.
And that's what the paddocks need.
That's what I'm here for. Like, just imagine if, Ocon, instead of going up and pushing Max Verstappen after the Brazilian Grand Prix a couple years ago, he pushes his own teammate. Just think about how amazing that would be.
Yeah.
I mean, they can't send them to their own pits because they're in the same pit. So
yep.
You go to that corner. You go to that corner.
Exactly. Back to your corners. Come out when you hear the bell. So there we go. That is all the news, and now we're on to the thing that I was just so curious about this because I think we've all been in that spot. Oh, Trent, what do you got?
I have something.
Oh my God. What do you have?
Yeah. I have a Track Daily Crush Vaporware edition.
Oh God.
Oh.
All right.
I'm ready for this.
What
are my pretend options?
The
Elio, and Elio.
Yeah.
Elio is one of them.
Oh God.
Zing.
That's for Dave. Elio, the Faraday Future FF91,
which is still totally coming out.
Yes. And the Lucid Air. The Lucid Air is basically a Model S competitor designed by the engineer of the original Model S, but there's just been years of it's going to come out. We're working on it. And
okay.
Yeah. Isn't this the one that's supposed to have like the little beaded headlights that like turn?
Yeah, kind of. Like it looks like it's got the.
I don't know about the headlights, honestly.
I remember seeing an article a couple of years ago that was like, this electric car company is bringing back pop-ups, and then it was this car, and like all of the little like LEDs for the headlights are like little cubes, and they turn.
Yeah,
away.
I found the article. You're right.
And then they flip forwards when you have, and they do it in sequence, so that's like turn on, and then they do it opposite the other way.
Huh.
Hey, Trent, how about that for pop-ups?
This angle right here.
That's better.
It looks kind of like just like where the wheel is positioned with the bumper. It looks kind of like a Charger.
Damn.
Yeah. So anyway, what? Now that you guys know what a Lucid Air is,
okay.
What are your options for the track, for the daily, for the crush?
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Elio for daily. Because if I'm going vaporware, I'm going full vaporware. I'm getting all that miles
Bold
per gallon.
choice.
Attaboy.
I'm doing all the miles per gallon savings that I can. And then the Faraday Future, and then the Lucid Air for track. I'm going to do Lucid Air for track and crush the Faraday.
Okay.
But this is only because we're in the vaporware. We're in the cyberpunk whatever land right now.
There, yes. All right. So I am going to daily the Lucid Air, which means it's just going to be a whole lot of me walking around, thumbing rides. I'm going to track the Faraday Future.
Ooh, bold choice.
Yes.
And crush the Helio?
Exactly. Because I mean, if I'm going to show up to the track, I'm going to be as ridiculous as humanly possible. So why not?
AJ, you got something for us?
No, Mike took mine.
I'm sorry.
I had a much better explanation for it, though.
Then what's your explanation?
Yeah. Oh, all right. Well, I was kind of coming at this as like because I'm a huge fan of cyberpunk and like cassette futurism and stuff like that. And so I was looking at it as from the objective of like, if these were actually real, what would I want to do with them, as opposed to just haha, they're vaporware. But I actually really like the way the Lucid Air looks.
Yeah.
And it looks like it would be a very, like, just based on the pictures and it looks like it'd be a very pleasurable car to drive. Like I imagine that being like the hero car in a like a dystopian thriller or something. The body lines on it and everything is just so sexy. And then track the Faraday Future just because it is absolutely bonkers looking, and I would love to see that thing just be hauling ass down a like a 3-dimensional racetrack where it's like they go upside down and go through loop-de-loops and stuff like that with like neon outlining all of the curvatures of it, and the disc brakes light up when boost comes on and stuff like that. And then the Elio could go in the trash.
Oh, there we go. Like
I'm gonna also make a bold choice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna delete the Lucid because it looks like a nice place to be.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna crush the Faraday Future.
All right.
Oh, okay.
And I am gonna track the Elio because that is the absurdity. You think tracking the Faraday Future is absurd. Tracking an Elio that its claim to fame is miles per gallon. I mean, you might as well.
We are going to be having the most interesting track day, the most interesting pretend track day.
I see Trent in a red Elio with the Akira pill jacket.
How dare you?
Wow. Okay.
Man, listen,
this is an unknown future, so
like
who am I to say no?
This is going to be just hilarious. Let's see. Luke,
and this isn't a vaporware thing. This is really going to happen.
Oh yeah,
guys.
Totally.
They're telling us it is. So
you're going to trade in your Elio coin, get that car.
Yeah.
Yep.
I forgot about the Elio coin. Oh man, that
deposit's finally going to pay off dividends.
Sweet. Let's see. Luke in the chat says, "Daily the Faraday, track the Lucid." So, let us know what you think. Mailbag at camautomag.com. Feel free to drop a comment on the podcast post. And we will get your responses on next time around. And so we've all had terrible neighbors, and we've all wanted to do things despite them because our neighbors were jerks, and we're afraid of direct confrontation sometimes because it's just how it works.
Passive aggressiveness is the best method.
Damn right.
Sometimes words don't work. No. You have to act.
Yes. And you have to act in such a way that you're not walking out there and punching them in the face, even though you probably should. But, so I wanted to know, what are some of the greatest acts of spite you have ever perpetrated against your neighbors? And we've got some serious winners here. I'd like to say that our Shenanigans members are just that delightful kind of devious and evil that I'm not afraid. Also, don't necessarily want to live next door to you, though. So let's see. Let's go. I just want to go with some of these slightly more pedestrian ones. So Brandon Kuhn, straight pipe party. Get all your boys with the loudest toys and have a barbecue. Also, I've been known to mow the lawn at 7 a.m, night after the neighbors were excessively loud and excessively late. And then Nick Stuckey. I like to write notes for loud cars as if I'm a clueless Karen. Not because I dislike them. I just think it's kind of funny. Something usually along the lines of, "Dear owner of the Subaru Outback," when it's clearly an STI or something, "your vehicle is obnoxiously loud. I understand that times can be tough and not everyone can afford exhaust work, but maybe it's time to consider an appropriate vehicle you can afford to maintain. Your vehicle being in disrepair and loud is affecting the peaceful ambience of our street in a negative way. Kind regards, Karen McDykel." So there
I want that printed on business cards. I can put them on people's hoods.
I think we can make that happen.
I want to find there's a lot of really cruddy, loud Honda Civics out this way that I would love to stick that note on.
There's a guy that comes around to come to car meets here who I think it's a WRX. I haven't looked at close enough to even fucking care what it is. And his pop tune is so annoying. Like, it is a single gunshot coming off throttle. And, like, it will echo through, like, whatever parking area we're in. Like, it'll echo off buildings a half mile away. how he doesn't have the cop car every time he drives blows my mind.
Yeah, that's
just awkward silence after I talk.
It's all right. Some people with their just like those crackle tunes are just, I don't quite get it, but whatever.
Well, like our RS4 has a crackle tune on it right now, but like we're not obnoxious with it. Also, it sounds good. It's not. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, everyone says that about the crackle tune.
Yeah. Anyway, AJ, how about you? What's an active spite that you've perpetrated against your neighbors?
Oh my gosh. I'm actually a pretty decent neighbor, to be honest with you. I'm usually the one that talks my girlfriend down from like saying something just because I don't like confrontation. But I can tell the story that I listed in the comments if you would like.
Yeah, but please do.
It's a bit long-winded, so if Trent wants to go first.
Oh, okay.
No, I was just raising my hand, agreeing with you, saying I'm usually the one talking my wife down from starting a confrontation because I'm not confrontational. So I was agreeing with you.
Yeah, well, because in all honesty, sometimes not saying anything is the best policy because, I mean, if you say something, they're obviously just going to do it more or make it worse. I mean, look at the look at the chat and the shenanigans page.
Hey, yeah.
I had a story after AJ's, or unless you want me to go first.
Yeah,
go for it, Zach.
I didn't do this. My shop owner Ryan did this. There's a storage lot down the street from our shop that the guy has plastered no parking signs all over. They're on his property, so they're virtually meaningless. And so one day he comes into our shop. This is a couple times. He's already yelled at us for a couple times. But he comes to our shop and was like, "Who wants the white Tacoma?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's me." Before I could say, "Hey, I'll move in here in about 2 minutes," he starts yelling at me how he's already called the sheriff. The tow truck's already on its way, and he's going to have my vehicle impounded for parking improperly on the street in front of his property. So of course I didn't do anything because they're not on their way. If they are on their way, I have a great court case against this man.
Yeah, there you go.
And so Ryan rolled up, and I'm like, I pulled the kid in middle school who just got beat up. Dad, this guy yelled at me. And
nice.
I watched him walk all the way down the street, all chest puffed out like this. And this guy starts smiling the second he sees us because he knows there's going to be some shit going down. And Ryan's first word to him were, like, before he could even say hi, was, "I don't give a fuck what your sign says."
Nice.
And I sat there for about 30 minutes while these two people just screamed at each other. And the ending culmination was probably one of the greatest lines of my life because he butters this guy up. He's like, "Oh, dude, we need to stick together. Like, we're both property owners on the street. We both need to like respect each other. Like, we need to give a lot of respect. Do you own this piece of property?" "No, I rent it." "Who the fuck do you think you are? You don't fucking tell me. I own more of the street than you fucking do."
God damn.
And the guy starts smiling. He's like, "You don't fucking smile at me. I'm not better than you. You're not better than me. I'm better than you. I own property on the street." It was, I wish I recorded it. It was just so amazing.
That would have been great. Oh, that would have been so good.
So that was our act of spite against our shitty neighbor.
Nice. All right, AJ, what do you got?
Oh my gosh. So it wasn't necessarily me directly. Back when I was still in the military, we had my helicopter squadron, and then in the hangar, like attached on the other side of the wall to us was a drone squadron. The little like dinky like fly around military drones. Anyway, they don't really fly and they don't really do much of anything. And so when they showed up, they would have their morning formation and like do their whole song and dance, military protocol thing. And their CO got mad because we would be turning up our ground support equipment, which is all like, diesel generators, and we're turning our birds up and making a lot of noise, and it was interrupting their morning formation. So their CO comes over and talks to our CO, and he's like, "Hey, can you guys like postpone your morning warm up until, maybe move it back like an hour or two, or, do something because you're interrupting our formation." And our CO goes, "Oh, we're interrupting your formation. That's cool. All right. Yeah. Tomorrow you won't even hear us."
Good talk, friend.
So we roll up in the morning, and the CEO's waiting for us in the hangar, and he goes, "Hey, so we need to turn up 6 birds and get them flight ready." And he goes, "We also are behind on our ground support equipment inspection, so we need to get that all done post-haste right now." And so we go out and get 6 birds, not just turned on, but spinning rotors.
Oh, God.
And every single piece of GSC we had. So I think 2 generators, 2 hydraulic pressure generators, and then I think we just ended up firing up one of the tugs just to add to it. And
Why not?
Just ran them for a solid hour.
Nice.
And then by the time we finished, everybody else, the other squadrons, had gotten up and gotten to their, hangars. And so we turned down, and right as we're pulling power and shutting our birds off, the squadron next to us is turning their birds up and turning their GSC up. And the squadron on the other side is turning their birds up, and you can hear, P3s in the background turning their birds up.
Oh.
It's just, our CO is just all smiles that day. It was brilliant. And
As he should have been.
Your tax dollars at work right there.
Absolutely.
This is why I pay taxes. Yeah.
The most spite I've ever seen is one man commandeering 210 people to spite another man.
This is what I think of when I think of today's military. Acts of spite and petty vengeance against other members of the branch.
210 manpower plus millions and millions of dollars of military equipment and fuel.
That's so good.
Just to piss off one person.
Yeah, just to piss off one other person. It was brilliant.
So good. Man.
Real quick, I do have an update of late breaking news.
Oh, please.
Lucid Air actually has 40 prototypes ready to start testing right now.
Holy shit.
Just announced today. They're just waiting for, this whole shutdown to go away. So
fuck the hell yes.
What a time to be alive.
One step closer away from vaporware.
Yeah.
And in terms of yeah.
You know what? If they need a test driver, come find me. I am down for that.
So you won't fly across the country for SEMA, but you will fly across the country to go to the Bay Area to drive a Lucid around?
No. You misunderstand. If they want to send one here, I'll drive it around and then report back to them how I like it.
Gotcha.
See, that makes perfect sense. I get it.
So I generally am not very spiteful like AJ, but I do feel bad. It was inadvertent, but while we've been doing yard work, we rented a mini excavator, and I ended up running it till about 10 o'clock at night because, I only had it until like 6 a.m. the next morning. So I'm like, I'm getting use out of this thing. And then, at 11 o'clock, I'm sitting there trying to load it onto the trailer, and it's just making a ridiculous racket. And, we just had neighbors move in across the street. It's like, this is a great way to introduce them to the neighborhood, me clanging excavator on a metal trailer at 11 o'clock at night. But usually my spitefulness is involving my dogs or my old dogs. And so we had our old neighbor pretty much hated our dogs, and they would get locked outside at certain times and just bark like crazy when things went too far.
Sometimes they just got to be outside, It's just how it is.
Well, at least you're not John Mcafee.
Yeah, thank God. This would be a lot different.
I'm happy you got that reference.
Yeah.
I'm a bit lost. Somebody want to explain?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Mike, do you want to try first, or just tell him to look it up?
I don't think I could do it justice.
There was murder involved.
Yeah.
Oh.
So just throw that out
you
there.
You have my attention.
Just go ahead and Google.
Just Google John McAfee. He's
Yeah.
I will vote for him for president if he runs again.
McAfee. Oh, McAfee. John McAfee of McAfee Security.
Yeah.
That is the least interesting thing about that man.
Yes.
I will vote for him just because he's not going to be able to keep the hackers out of his computers.
You should do some research here. He's about as crazy as it gets. He posted a YouTube video about how to uninstall McAfee services while doing bath salts.
Yep.
Just Google it. Just Google how to uninstall McAfee. It's the best 6 months of your life.
Well, you wouldn't have to uninstall it if it wasn't absolute shite.
Yeah, but I mean,
John.
this nice man is doing bath salts and telling you how to do it.
Was he munching on a Florida man's face while he was at it?
He's done that before or after that, but
man,
he's an interesting looking fellow. I'll give him that.
Yeah, I'm already starting down the spiral. So
he's a.
I'm reading as quickly as I can.
He's a knockoff version of Richard Branson.
A homeless man's Richard Branson, if you will.
He's running for the 2020 election.
I'm voting for him. The vote's secured. You should please, after this, anyone who's watching this, go watch the John McAfee how to uninstall McAfee software.
We'll put that in the show notes.
Please do.
Let's go ahead and link that in there.
John, you've got to vote more secure than your anti.
Is he even in the U.S. still? How is he going to be a president if he's not even in the U.S.?
Well, I mean, that didn't stop Obama, right?
It wasn't going there, but I'm happy you did.
I'm glad somebody did.
Well,
should we land this thing? Because we're on fire in 4 or 5 different places. We've lost both engines.
We've got
landing gear's not deploying.
I just want to read Luke's story, and then we could close it out. So, Luke, yet another fine gentleman who has spent some time in the military. I'll call this a neighbor situation since I was a Marine living in the same barracks as the other Marine. The other Marine thought it was a brilliant idea to cut the lock off my stuff in the shop and hide it. I was tempted to report him for theft, but then a brilliant idea crept into my head. The other Marine was a moron, and in an effort to make some extra cash, he decided to model for a company. Later, the chain of command found out it was a gay website he modeled for. This was during the time of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. The plan was executed on our monthly Toolbox Inventory, which was 2 days later. For inventory, we had to show every single tool in the box to the staff, non-com officers. In order to streamline the process, all boxes were examined at the same time. Prior to the inventory, I got into his toolbox and switched out his ratchet for a vibrator. I chose the ratchet because it was the first item on the inventory for that drawer. When he opened the drawer, sheer panic came across his face. Somehow his ratchet had turned into a vibrator. When a tool can't be found, it results in high-ranking individuals to come and inspect your toolbox more thoroughly, and the vibrator was noticed. Several of us were dying of laughter. I slid his ratchet across the ground and said, "Thanks for letting me borrow it." Needless to say, nobody ever messed with my stuff again.
Fuck yeah.
Wow.
Tax dollars that works, folks. That's what I'm here for.
That is brilliant. It's really funny. That level of fuckery is not an isolated incident. That's literally a daily basis out there.
Yeah, no, I am expecting that. That's just, it's fucking great.
That is brilliant.
That it is. All right, let's land this plane here, folks. Thank you for joining us out there on the YouTubes. If you're a patron watching this, thank you for listening. If you're not hearing this on Wednesday, the day it releases, we appreciate it.
If you need any reason to be a patron, it was tonight.
Yes.
We all wore, except for AJ, luchador masks.
We'll ship you one next time.
Yeah, we'll get you a luchador mask
for the live stream. It's worth every penny.
I just switched hats every time the topic changed.
Yeah, it was a lot of hat roulette going on. It was great. That's things you're missing out on if you're not a patron. Patreon.com/CamAutomag is where you go. Any dollar amount, but if you want to see these shenanigans take place, $5 a month is what you do. It is the monthly donation we ask for. You get to see us record this on Mondays. You get to do our secret Cam Shannigan's Facebook group. You get the podcast a day early at least. Bonus content. Occasionally we'll pull one of you off the bench to be a guest on the podcast. So all the more reason to support us. Patreon.com/CamAutomag. Follow us on all of our social medias. We're at Cam Automag on a lot of them. Podcast is available wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play. Like, rate, review, subscribe. Just roll the windows down and just start blasting all 264 episodes. Just see what happens. That's a great act of spite to take against your neighbors. Just, there you go. CamAutoswag.com is where you go to buy your official Cam merch, like the hats, the backpack, flip-flops, shorts. Have yourself a hot boy or girl or non-binary summer. It's coming up, folks. Hopefully we'll get a couple of weeks in. Oh, there we go. Yeah, AJ's representing. Nice. Yeah, hopefully we get a couple of weeks of summer before, wave 2 of the apocalypse happens. So get geared up for it. CamAutoswag.com. Support our sponsor, Steady Broke Clothing. SteadyBroke.com is where you go to get the Broke AF shirt, the Depresso tee, the Broke hat. Put all that fun stuff in your cart. Use coupon code CamAuto15 at checkout and save 15% off your entire order. Just because you're broke doesn't mean you can't live your dreams. Tomorrow or yesterday, depending on when you're hearing this, is Tuesday. And on Tuesday, we get on Twitch and we play games together. We are going to be playing Rocket League because that's a thing that's going to be happening. And, car soccer is always fun, as proven by Top Gear. So twitch.tv/CamAutomike is where you go if you want to watch what we're doing and get spicy in the chat and yell at us and tell us everything that we're doing wrong or right. If you want to join us, Patreon bonus. So,
that's worth the $5 right there.
Exactly. The fun things you learn, like in GT Sport, you can actually launch the cars backwards at a stop. Nothing like getting in a room full of randos and starting the race and half the field goes that way when you're trying to go that way.
Or looping a rando out on the straightaway at, what was that, Laguna Seca?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. In carts.
Oh, yes, and then have them just be on a mission of hatred and anger after you initiated contact. And then blocking and reporting them, because that's what you do. Anyway, yep, that is what we do on Twitch Tuesday. So there we go, folks. AJ, thank you for stepping in last minute. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yep, anytime. Welcome to the JV squad.
If you need me, you know where to find me.
Yes, we do. We'll just put up the AJ signal and hope you can see it from Tennessee. There it is. Just look vaguely west and you should see it.
I'll do the Zach look and look into the light.
Yes,
confused and yet excited.
Yes. Anyway, for episode 264 of the Camcast, I have been Mike.
I've been Zach.
I've been the Shadowy Billionaire.
And I've been AJ.
All right. Thanks, folks. Bye.